A mirror. That's interesting. That's interesting, actually. A mirror. So it got scared of its own expression. It got scared of its own looks. Is that what was happening here? That's interesting. That is very interesting, actually. I would also be perplexed as well. Just like, okay, what? It's not a weapon. She didn't even make a weapon, but the bug looked at itself and then died. I wonder if there's like, I wonder if they're also a unique form of corruptors. I wonder if that's the case. That have been turned into corruptors. I mean, considering the Mantis was able to turn into them and connect to the network, I think it's fair to assume that she might be that they might be corruptors, in a matter of sense. At least that's what it's kind of seems to me. So this is the Kaelan's expedition after all, and we are learning more about the Kaelan's expedition because before that it was just Drea. Like we only learned about her. Now it's Mantis and these people who from the expedition. It would be cool, kind of cool if we actually see Kaelan too. Speaking of, let's try camp. Here, eat this to replenish your energy. No biscuit for you. That's what you get for running off like a little kiddo. But we saved a piece of candy for you. A brave child who protects companions deserves a reward. You take the stone hard bread and broken heart candy. You're not hungry and don't have to eat, but one still has to talk tough. I'm not a little kid. Okay. Go over there and take care of Drea and the wounded. Or get some sleep. We'll be on the move again soon. Little kids should keep their strength up. This is the 8th futile rebuttal you've made to those people. You're not adult at all, no matter how tall you are. Or rather, anything you do that exceeds what the child does is ignored. It's as if you're acting out a scripted movie. You tried to secretly cast your shackles, but they just passed through them. These teammates and Drea are all holograms. The only person that the shackles ever touched is now discussing something with her teammates, an unprecedentedly serious look on her face. They evolved too quickly. Brute force won't work. We need to change our approach to get our remaining companions back. If we consider the mutant bugs as type of apostle of ashes and analyze their habits, we might find a breakthrough. Apologies. But all the apostles of ashes are heading for the perishing star. You said that this behavior is the core feature of the apostles. The mantises only stay on the outskirts of the forbidden zone and even occasionally leave the sea to prey on humans. They're different. Only what's manifested is different. You eavesdrop from under the car to get a rough understanding of the situation. The sudden illusionary moon anomaly disrupted the expedition's plans. A 4-person team, including the astronomer, went missing, and an investigation revealed that they were forced to flee into mutant bug territory. As a naturalist studying mantises, Mantis had led a rescue team deep into the hinterland to find her teammates. A few days passed, and they found 3 people but lost 2 more, including the guide who popped up. The 6 people here now are all that's left. In their natural state, the Apostles of Ashes have no stable form. Their energy and radiation changes unpredictably, and their collapse or reemergence cannot be logically explained. People attribute this to the unique power of the Apostles of Ashes and fear it. But no one really knows for sure. This phenomenon could still have other explanations. Before joining the expedition, I led a team to track and observe the Apostles of Ash. Rather than saying their forms are unpredictable, it's more accurate to say that their material existence in this world is extremely unstable. It's as if they have some sort of serious flaw. Apostles of Ashes worldwide do share a common feature. They migrate to perishing star without stopping. They do not need. They don't do it to feed, reproduce, or evolve. But I have a guess. Perhaps these apocalyptic creatures are seeking the perishing star to fix their own flaw. The perishing star is something in this forbidden zone, allows them to exist more stably in our material world. We've discussed this many times. Without knowing what perishing star is, this hypothesis is hard to verify. It doesn't help the expedition. Yes, we can't reach the perishing star, but the mantises provide another research direction, a simple extrapolation. They're a relatively weak apostle, afraid to go deeper into Forbidden Zone and face stronger mutants. Thus, they only hover around the outskirts of the sea in swarms. But they also need to fix themselves, so they constantly kidnap humans nearby. I guess humans are the substitute for the perishing star. From when they were first recorded till now, the mantis' form has grown visibly more stable, their behavioral intelligence has improved, and their perception towards humans has deepened. Their flaw is being remedied by hunting humans and human belongings. They're curious about humans, they're trying to understand humans and even imitate humans. I can occasionally scare them off with a mirror. The perception they have of themselves and humans may have shifted or merged. She whispers, her voice gradually lowering, but her speech quickens and her emotions become increasingly fervent. Perhaps this is the essence of the Apostles of Ashes. The so-called creature is a manifestation of a certain collective human consciousness invading reality. The mantis has a strong swarm attribute, so it could be a manifestation of human concept of collectivity. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, actually. That's why Apostles of Ashes take forms of creatures we have faced before. In a way. The instability of the collective subconsciousness leads to the instability of the apostle. Strengthening their own collective consciousness is the way of stabilizing themselves. This can be proven over time, but most importantly, if they really are a manifestation of human consciousness, then we might be able to understand these terrifying creatures and even communicate with them. If their origin is also human, we might be able to awaken their humanity and communicate with them. Do you have a death wish? As this isn't one of your television shows. You think your naive and baseless guesses can keep us alive? A sharp rebuke interrupts the scholar-favorite analysis. Mantis snaps her head up as if waking from with a start. She meets the iron-faced gaze of her companion and comes to her senses, the color gradually draining from her face. I understand how you feel. If the monsters could be understood, humanity could avoid many deaths. It's a beautiful wish, but it's too difficult. These monsters have claimed countless lives worldwide. Your guess, on the other hand, lacks evidence and persuasion. Humanity doesn't have the resource to prove it. Pure hope and desire is not enough. No, I should be the one apologizing. I really have no way to prove it. The apocalypse is a TV show. Acting on assumptions will only lead us into danger. A sense of guilt lingers in the silence following the outburst. Seeing Mantis hang her head, the woman's face shifts from anger to remorse. She grasps the scholar's hand, but only can muster a painfully sorrowful smile. The positivity has always encouraged us, but in the end, it's your rationality as scholars that saves lives and brings salvation to humanity. Let's go back to base. This rescue mission's goal is to find you scholars and ensure your safety. The mutant bugs will be back. We can't stay here for long. Now? Some people haven't returned yet. Your husband was taken away by Mantis. If we leave now, If we leave now, at least you, Drea, and the guide will survive. The expedition team can lose you. After taking him back, I'll come back to rescue the others. My husband, he would make the same choice. He would also do everything to protect humanity's top scholars and safeguard the hope to defeat the apocalypse. Mantis opens her mouth but says nothing. A look at her companion's expression tells her that there's no room for negotiation. She lowers her head. Not that strong, if it weren't for all of you. The team member seems to want to say something else. Mantis lifts her head again, forcing a somewhat strange smile. It's nothing. I want to prepare some weapons that can repel bugs. They always come in handy. Interesting. A few minutes later, the scholar is silently assembling ammunition with her back to you. You're hiding under a vehicle, undecided on what to do. She starts to speak. Come out, kid. I know you've been eavesdropping. You crawl out from under the vehicle and silently stand by the scholar, helping her with ammo. She turns to smile at you. You can't shake the feeling that her smile is somewhat forced, which makes you smile sad. Your hypothesis is inspiring. As soon as the word leaves your mouth, you realize how feeble your attempt to comfort her is. In this illusion, how much help can the child's comfort be to a scholar facing the immense pressure of life and death? Seeing you stop mid-sentence, Mantis doesn't press for more. After a while, she softly continues. Before joining the expedition team, I filmed 4 seasons of the blockbuster documentary series Wilderness Trek, which became a worldwide hit. When people talk about me, they praise me as a heroic survival expert and a trustworthy naturalist. To be a heroic survival expert, one must be a romantic, a brave, ready to face disaster and unveil the truth. One must never give up and bring courage and confidence to everyone in the Nightfall era. On the other hand, to be a trusted naturalist, one must be prudent and cautious. One must collect data bit by bit, then analyze it and summarize it. One must boldly hypothesize and carefully verify the results, and face countless disappointing failures without cheating or lying. Which identity do you think suits me better, kid? I think survival expert. Give me courage. Thank you. Actually, I'm good at both. Like a superhero. Pretty cool, right? She smiles brightly again, then the smile fades into the expression that you cannot tell is gentle or forlorn. Because I'm not alone. Back then, I had an entire filming crew with me, traveling north and south, traversing the apocalypse. We were chased by all kinds of monsters. Together we celebrated our victories and shouldered each other's failures. We overcame difficulties with one another and collectively dreamed of a brighter future. Grouping up is truly humanity's most wonderful attribute. Even though I'm just an ordinary person with them, I can keep going no matter how dark the night. With them, I'm invincible. So for me, my most important identity is clear, everyone's companion. Just like now, some people comforted me, some shook me back to my senses, and some made me worry. I won't be lost. With you guys, I'm a superhero. This superhero will definitely take you all back. No companion left behind. Her contagious laughter is devoid of any gloom. Haven't watched this wilderness trek yet. Will you show me when we get back to the camp? After the expedition is over, I'll apply to join the filming crew, too. It looks fun. Haha, now that you mentioned it, I never thought about filming the 5th season. There will be many delicious bugs to eat once we're out. Don't be picky either, okay? She ruffles your hair and is about to say something else when a scream suddenly interrupts. You both rush over immediately. The female team member who was just comforted Mantis is now staring pale-faced at the entrance of the hideout. A man covered in filth is robotically and maniacally destroying the surrounding bug repellent devices. Mantis also freezes, then quickly steps forward to shield you. She raises her gun and shoots decisively at Man's leg. The monster falls to his knees with a muffled thud, but Mantis' teammates lets out a cry. Back off! I only incapacitated him, but he's not your husband anymore. Protect yourself! The man on the ground is making chaotic noises and starts to bite with his mouth. His face is shriveled, as if he's been drained dry, and there is no signs of humanity in his eyes. Yet his appearance is vaguely familiar to you. A corruptor? Watch out! Last device is paralyzed. The two giant scythes break out of the man's body. A black, evil anthropod creature is born from the bloody rain. The scene is too overwhelming. As everyone is frozen in place by shock, the incoming swarm of mutant bugs snatches them away. As a monster charges you, a gunshot rings out, and several mutant bugs' heads are blown apart. You turn to see Mantis holding a gun, shielding you behind her. Her sunny disposition has disappeared, replaced by terrifying power that is suppressed, but steering inside the darkness. Kid, take care of the injured. Don't leave them. It's all up to you here. What about you? I'm going to bring your companions back. Green flames flashes in this color's eyes. She rushes out so fast that you have no time to react. You couldn't stop her at all. Carefully attend to Dre and the wounded. You try your best to repair the blocker. The environment has become somewhat distorted and you feel uneasy, but what's worse is the state of Mantis. The moment she rushes out, you saw spikes growing into her body. You must find her and get her back to come back. You have a bad feeling about this. You venture out deeper and deeper alone. You've lost count of how many battles you've experienced, dodging contamination and mutant bugs. Now you're lost in the distorted chaos. You don't know where you fell down or how long it's been. When your consciousness returns, you feel as if you're floating in the air or on the sea, bubbling up and down. Didn't we agree that you wait for me back there? What would I do if something happened to you too? Who's that? Mantis! You start to open your eyes and roughly make out the person talking to you. Mantis is carrying you through the twisted forest, returning to the shelter that had been just attacked. The scholar walks steadily with strength that does not match her figure. The female rescuer, who has just lost her husband, is also back. She's still in a coma, but the wounds on her body have been properly treated. You're the last one. Saved all the people I can. Now you must leave the Mantis territory. You can't stop even for a moment. What about you? I'm going to the bug nest and bring back the people who were captured. There's no way we're letting you go alone. Mantis smiles, opens the car door, and puts you in the driver's seat, then starts to treat your wounds. Yet, she is the one who clearly has more contamination and wounds. The scholar still has a faint smile on her lips, but her eyes are somewhat hollow. She begins to whisper softly. My guess was correct. The mutant bugs are infested in human wisdom and behavior, particularly group sentiment. They keep repairing themselves at astonishing speeds, and now they are using human relationships and feelings to set traps. Their understanding of human nature is progressing too fast. Way too fast. I was too naive, because they craved the human heart, and consciously got close to them mentally, hoping that they could be communicable peers. Huh. There are clearly more ways in nature to acquire intelligence and more ways to repair. It's my fault that a naturalist like me was so unimaginative. There's no time. They could die at any time while waiting for rescue. Now the only one who can act is me. It's too dangerous. If you'll go, you'll just don't underestimate me. I just single-handedly saved you from a swarm of mutant bugs. You missed quite the exciting battle while you were passed out. I'm the one who knows them best. While researching how to fight them, I also gained some power. I can also occasionally understand their communications. Only I can do this. You remember what she looked like when you first saw her, covered in spikes and with prominent signs of mutation. You thought that was just from the illusion, but now it seems that it's not the case. You may have been contaminated by mania. Mania? What's that? The abnormal radiation of the perishing star? Sounds like a pretty good name. Kaylan would definitely like it. Her giggly optimism might be infectious to many, but now it feels like a fishbone stuck in your throat. I'm going with you. You can't venture out alone. An uncomfortable silence ensues. After a while, she finally speaks, but dodges your question. You said after getting out, you want to shoot the 5th season of the Wilderness Track with me. I'm sorry. That show has been permanently cancelled. The 4th season ended halfway during the production. The production crew, my most precious companions, have already gone to another world. They died on the journey of exploring the apocalypse. I joined the expedition team on their behalf to continue our journey. I believe in my wild conjectures. I believe that their spirits still exist in this world, perhaps inside an apostle we don't understand yet. I believe that I will eventually find them. But I really don't want you to meet the same fate. I know that humanity needs a great superhero scholar, but the superhero is a bit selfish. She needs you. I don't want to lose any more companions. Not a single one. I can fight too. I'll go with you. I want to prove it to her with your shackles, but Mantis gently takes your hand. I know. It feels different carrying you now. You've gotten heavier and taller, kid. So much taller. You're no longer the kid we knew, right? I'm not Mantis. I'm sure you don't remember my real name. It's okay. I'm glad you stumbled back to me. She tightens her grip on your hand. Our little guide has become more mature, braver, and smarter. We've become more powerful, kinder, and better at taking care of everyone. We used to take care of you, but now you've grown up. We can depend on you. I can only temporarily repair the mutant bugs, but this is still their territory. They'll be back soon. If you have the power and really want to help me, then protect my companions on my behalf. Take them back to the camp and find Kaylan's stone stale. You know the way. Everyone is waiting for you there. You won't be lost. Even if you don't remember, you can hear where your heart wants to lead you. She smiles, reaches out gently to gently touch your earring. Once you find the stone stay, use it to return to your own era safely. This is not your era, not where you ought to be. You have real companions to worry about and more important things to do. Don't forget the way back. You are speechless. It takes you a while to respond. I promise you, I'll definitely get them back. But I don't want to leave just like that. I'll wait for you at the stone stale. Slate. If you don't come back, I'll come find you. Even if I don't belong here, even if I'm destined to leave, I want you to see me off. I want you to leave on happy terms. That's not too much to ask for, is it? Aren't we companions? Of course. No matter where or when, or what we turn into, you will always be my companion. Ah, fuck. The car starts and you look back at her. Mantis stays in place watching you. Before this disappears into the thick fog, her silhouette subtly starts to change. You can't see her face, and you don't know what happened. You only know that you know that now she is alone. Find Kaylan's stone slate. Everyone was waiting for you there. You won't be lost. Even if you don't remember, you can hear where your heart wants to lead you. Protect my companions on my behalf. You grit your teeth, gripping the steering wheel tightly. As the earring swings, you vaguely sense the direction through the fog. You stomp on the accelerator and zoom the car forward. Even if the ones in the car aren't people, you must do what you promised. Besides, by now, you have your own guess what's happening here. Safeguarding these companions is safeguarding the heart of that human's color, and her heart is what's holding up this illusory realm of chaos. Yep. The realm of chaos distorts, gradually crumbling away. You feel the buzzing of the mutant bugs right by your ear, chasing and pressuring you. Yet some other kind of determination lights up the road ahead of you, resisting everything that is hunting you. The two clash, causing violent vibrations from time to time. You struggle to move forward amidst their shadow. Finally, you see the faint light of the camp in the fog. You immediately spot the conspicuous stone slate and stop hard on the accelerator to zoom towards it. The car flips over the guardrail. You struggle to push the door open and tumble out. I did it. The crash blurred your vision, but you can hear chaotic footsteps approaching. Take Drea to the infirmary. The illusionary moon isn't over. I'll handle it. I'll deal with the car. It won't be scrapped. Someone takes over the injured from the car, while someone else reaches out to you. You try to grab their hand, but keep missing. Everything in front of you is greasily distorted. Your head hurts terribly, and the buzzing of the bugs is getting closer. She's still there. Go save her, please. Kid, Mantis went to the bug nest. She's alone. Hurry. Finally, you grab someone's hand. You lift up your hand waiting to shout. At this moment, everything in front of you suddenly shatters like glass. Something broke. The world blurs and fades. The view becomes distorted and drifting, and the sounds become ethereal. The figure of those helping each other gradually becomes transparent and unreal. Only the black stone slate in the center of the camp remains motionless and unfazed. Once you find the stone slate, use it to return to your own era safely. This is not your own era. Not where you ought to be. You have real companions to worry about. More important things to do. The pure determination that escorted you back here has dissipated. The barely stable world suddenly shatters, and the buzzing of the mutant bugs surges in. Under the illusory moon, a more frenzied consciousness has defeated the will that hindered it and begins to devour everything. The will of the naturalist that protected you has disappeared. Because you protected her companions, you can now leave safely. Her wish has been fulfilled, so she can rest easy, right? I don't want to lose any more companions. Not a single one. There's no choice. A stronger emotion takes you over your heart, forcing you to go to your feet and swat aside the illusions with a roar. You run away from the stone slate and into the chaotic rolling illusions of the nightmare. There's only one thought on your mind. Bring her back.